YouTube, what's up, man? It's your boy Richardson from Minimum Wage to Millionaire. If you're new to the channel, welcome. But if you've been here, welcome back. Yes, today is a double upload day. Double upload. I just finished uploading my other video. It's an appreciation video. I just wanted to thank you guys for everything. So I wanted to put that out there. But I also had something on my mind right when I finished that video. So I was thinking to myself, okay, should I just wait a few days and upload it? I'm thinking, no, I'm in the mood. I'm in the video creator mood. So I'm like, I might as well just make a video on this now. And it's more financial geared. And it is about building an emergency fund. As I mentioned in that last video, one of my favorite verses was to build your house on rock or a solid foundation so that the foundations doesn't shake. And I thought about it from a financial standpoint, and your emergency fund is essentially that. It's also, I don't believe in coincidence, but I'm going to say coincidental that my main financial goal at the moment is building an emergency fund. And I put those two things together and I was like, well, the emergency fund is your bedrock to your finances, right? Because if you have an emergency fund, a fully funded emergency fund, which financial experts say somewhere around 3 to 6 months. For me, as I mentioned in my net worth video, as well as some other videos, I'm shooting for 6 to 12 months of emergency savings. And the peace of mind that you get with having that emergency fund is almost unspoken. There's nothing you could put into words to really be able to express the safety you would feel with having that. And again, it relates to the verse where when things like rain, things like high tides, things like hurricanes, any natural disasters, that foundation is what keeps you firm. There's so much stress that people have about their finances. You know, I think I've read in some article, if I find the article, I'll try to link in the description below. But it's like, I think like almost 60 something, almost 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Can you imagine the amount of stress relief they would have if they just had, let's use the financial experts recommendations, which is 3 to 6 months. If they have 3 to 6 months of emergency savings, do you know how much relief those people would have? Knowing that, hey, well, if I miss a paycheck, let's say what's going on, I don't like to talk politics on this channel, but like what's going on with the government shutdown and how a lot of government workers, TSA workers, and just federal government workers in general that are not getting paid. Can you imagine the fact that they may be part of that 70%? They very well is part of that 70% that are living paycheck to paycheck. The stress that they have, versus if, let's say, all of them or even a portion of them had 6 months of living expenses, the relief they would have. Now, obviously, it would still suck to be able to having to go to work or being obligated to work and you're not getting paid, right? It's, you know, labor is not free, right? So yeah, it sucks, but having that emergency fund would just keep you from not having to wake up at night stressing, waking up in sweat, thinking, man, how am I supposed to pay my bills? How am I supposed to pay my mortgage? No, you would be able to comfortably say, yeah, I could pay my mortgage, I could pay this and that because I have that foundation. So what I normally would advocate for people to do is start working on building that emergency fund. In my case, the way I did it was that I kind of did the Dave Ramsey style, which is I had like $1,000 starter emergency fund. And then I aggressively paid down my debt because I told you guys my stance on debt. I don't want nothing to do with debt, period, right? I do not, the borrower is slave to the lender, and I don't feel like being a slave. I'm more than willing to serve. I'm serving the Lord. I want to serve. By serving the Lord, you're serving others, right? I want to serve others, but I don't want to serve, Wells Fargo or PNC Bank or Chase or all those other banks or any financial institution or corporation if I don't have to, right? I want to serve people. I want to serve God, So that's kind of my mindset, my thoughts with having an emergency fund. So I did that, pay it down the debt. And then of course, now I'm in the process of building up my emergency fund to that 6 months to 12 months. But what you could do is just start small. What I would advocate is if you are in the process of building that emergency fund, try to automate the experience as much as possible, because as human beings, we are susceptible to temptation. We are susceptible to human error, mistakes, sins, problems, right? So when you automate it, well, the automation is just going to do what you set it up to do. So if you have a bank account or some type of system where it would automatically transfer, like let's say on your payday, you want to save $1,000, right? So $1,000, let's say you get paid bi-weekly. Let's say you could only afford to save $50. It's better to automate it. So then $50 a day, $50 every 2 weeks. So $100 a month. And you'll realize that in 10 months, right? Because you're trying to save 1,000, right? You're saving 50, right? You'll get there in 10 months. You would pretty much do it without you really knowing, because everything's just automated. The only way it would not work is if for whatever reason you spend the money before they could transfer it, or if you yourself deliberately stop the transfer, like you cancel the automatic savings, right? Which, if your goal is to build that, try to automate. So that's what I do. I try to automate it. I make it so that when I get paid, in fact, I got paid today. So, money's probably already taken out and sent there. And it just makes it so that the process is a lot more easy. And if there's some hiccups or some complications, then you'll go through, you'll review it, and you'll make those changes and adaptations. Maybe you were saving $50, but then you realize, like, you know what, $50 don't really hurt, and I really want to get to that goal faster of building an emergency fund. Realistically, I could do it I could do 100, right? Which will speed up the goal and allow you to accomplish that goal twice as fast, because you're putting twice as much money. And that's just the idea. And the great thing is that if you put in like a high yield savings account, which if you guys want, I could do a follow-up video talking about high yield savings accounts and the ones that I use and what I recommend. You can put in a high savings account, and because they pay significantly more interest than your traditional bank, you'll be able to just make interest, which then compounds and makes you grow, get to that goal even faster. So that's all I just wanted to talk about in this video. Build your emergency fund. Oh, sorry. Let me tack on one point. I mentioned earlier that I'm debt free. In my opinion, again, this is my opinion. This is where, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. In my opinion, I think the ultimate bedrock is having the fully funded emergency fund, being debt free or close to debt free. If not debt freedom completely, then at least be in a position where you have such a good handle on your debt that it's not a burden to you financially, or, all around, because debt affects you spiritually, affects you mentally, affects you, all that. And then having multiple streams of income. That's what I'm working to. Right now, I only have one job. I'll do a couple gigs here and there. I'll do some like Uber and stuff like that, little gigs that I will do on the side. Hopefully in the future, this YouTube channel, if it becomes monetized, this could be an additional sort of streams of revenue. Because once you have those three, you have your fully funded emergency fund, again, 3 to 6 months, me 6 to 12, being debt free completely, which I am, great, and having at least 2 or 3 streams of income. I would say the more the better, but at least 2 or 3 sources of income. Those 3 things, bruh, you are safe. You are comfortable. You are fine from a financial standpoint. Obviously, you'll deal with your own problems in other aspects of your life, but financially, bruh, a meteor could come and you'll be safe. Like, it's very great. So that's what I'm trying to work towards. That's the ultimate stability, but I think the emergency fund is that initial layer. And then you being debt free, which reduces your other expenses. And then on top of that, having multiple streams of income, yeah, you're set to go. So that's all I want to do, guys. Again, double upload today. Thank you guys for everything. I just wanted to make that video. I wanted to talk about finances because the last couple of videos, I kind of deviated a little bit. We're a well-rounded channel, but the bedrock of my channel is on finances, hence the name Minimum Wage to Millionaire. So I wanted to make sure I give you guys a video on that. So build your emergency fund. Again, put in a high yield savings account or some type of savings that will give you some more interest, and just work at it. Again, automate it so then you reduce the chances of you tampering or temptations or veering away from it, and just remain consistent and vigilant. Thank you very much. May the Lord be with all of you guys today. God bless. You have a nice day. Thank you.